filthy, ugly brain tumor on the beautiful mind of God's creation. Let me talk about the heavy issue right now. World War III. I do not believe that the elites controlling the Anglo-American establishment that are the most intelligent and most virulent of the three global crime syndicates. I do not believe that they want to have a nuclear war. But history and common sense has shown that though they are the most sophisticated predatory group the world has ever produced, that humanity has ever produced, and that our decadence and our slovenliness has allowed to develop this cancer, is rationalizing to itself that it has a plan that will end up empowering humanity, when clearly their entire bent, their entire bearing, their entire gearing is for destroying peace, destroying liberty, destroying progress. World government was established by the Rockefellers with the League of Nations after World War I, and was the chrysalis to then form the United Nations and allied groups. The UN is mainly a diversionary body, so people think it's this ineffectual world government group, while the IMF, World Bank, Exim Bank, and international secret boards, the NAFTA and GATT boards, the Pacific Partnership boards, they're all completely secret on record. And the New York Times has the headline, it's totally secret, none of your business. But that it will now tell Congress what to do. The TPP and the rest of it. And they just tell the childlike public, oh, that doesn't exist, children. Why, there's no world government being formed. And then now they're like, oh, there's a world government, but it wants to help you. No, it doesn't. It wants to bomb into the Stone Age the family, the individual, the spark of liberty, because free will gets in the way of the robotic hell world they're building. The Trans-Pacific Partnership is a tyranny out of this world, but it's all done by men and women in suits, and it's all secret, and the lapdog media will only tell you that it's secret for your own good, and so that's the end of it. And then you wonder why we can't repeal open borders that aren't even a law. You wonder why we can't stop international gun treaties that Obama's now implementing by fiat. You wonder why NATO's commanding our military. You wonder why our own military doesn't want to fight for al-Qaeda, but is ordered to do so. It's because we don't run our country anymore. For all intents and purposes, the Congress is about 90% and counting vestigial. Vestigial, if you're a new listener, or maybe you don't know what vestigial means, you ever noticed a dog has what they call a dew claw up on the side of its leg? Back from when it had a different type of paw, they believe, where it was more of like a hand. And it's vestigial. It has no use, but it's up there. Whales have fingers in their flippers that are vestigial. Pretty soon, spines will be vestigial in humans. And I'm not even joking about this one. Sexual organs under the sexless globalist plan will be vestigial. Sperm are already 87% non-active and basically vestigial in Western men. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, your sperm count's dropping, and genetically, each generation, the genitalia are becoming smaller. We are under biochem attack. Hope you enjoy it. The wages of the New World Order is absolute bloody death, slowly carried out on you and your children. Remember, the globalists like to do these things delicately, lovingly. They love their work. But they've run up against Russia, who is incredibly corrupt, incredibly mafia, incredibly primitive, but very intelligent scientifically. And Russia is being bullied right now. And in fact, let's play the clip from it's been out for days. We played on the Nightly News on, I guess it was Sunday we had it on the radio, but the clip has been on Infowars.com since Sunday, but I wanted to play it here. The media said terror attack in Ukrainian city, and what it is a battle between Western Mercs and Russian Spetsnaz in traditionally for 500 years an area that was Russia. It's been taken away from them a bunch. They fought for it. I think it's 13 times. They've had 13 major wars. They've lost millions. Russia's lost millions in Crimean wars. There's been, I think, 3 wars called Crimean Wars. The first Crimean, what is the Great Crimean, and the I forget all the names. You can look it up for yourself. But more than 13 major wars with millions dead. It'd be like if the U.S. was 1,000 years old and we'd fought 13 wars for Texas. We've only fought really 2. One under Texas, one under the U.S. against Mexico. That's why the Marines say, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles. Well, you know what's going on? The U.S. is in there. The CIA admitted this last year, almost 12 months ago, back in February. That, yeah, we spent $5 billion over there, and we've got the CIA commanding mercenary teams up against the Russians. We are fighting Russian Spetsnaz right now. Our government, our crazy, evil government, is in Russian territory, in land they've had taken from them over and over again. And I'm not pro-Russia or pro-Ukrainian. I don't have a dog in this fight. I've studied it. The Russians have committed ungodly, barbarous abuses on Western Ukrainians for at least 500 years. The Western Ukrainians have committed barbarous tyranny and barbarous mass murders against the Russians in the East. It's because it's 2 countries. They've been fighting each other forever. It needs to be divided. It's that simple. And it's been divided many times in history. Hitler spilt into Ukraine with the Western Ukrainians and killed millions. Then the Russians poured in and killed millions. It just goes back and forth. They hate each other when they're not marrying each other. They're genetically almost the same people. It is so stupid. Just like George Soros trying to start a war with the police and to start a war, you know, black on white and vice versa. Yeah, there's beefs on both sides. Yeah, there's problems with the police. Yeah. But when the bad guy wants you to have a civil war with them, just like in Ukraine, yeah, the Russians have done bad stuff. Yeah, the Western Ukrainians have done bad stuff. But George Soros and the CIA spent $5 billion. Can we play the head U.S. envoy to the EU? I mean, we can play her saying we spent $5 billion in Ukraine. I mean, to do this. I mean, they bragged that they installed an unelected government. And now they're sending armored vehicles, tanks, tens of thousands of U.S. troops on the Polish border building up right by Ukraine and Russia, saying it's for Russia. NATO generals that look so soft and weak going, we're ready for war with the Russians. You don't talk like that even during the Cold War. You don't shoot your mouth off about nuclear war. The Russians aren't doing it. You understand? You understand, you soft, fake pieces of garbage? The point is that there are U.S. mercs and U.S. troops dying, just like when they launched an attack on Russian-held areas in Ossetia and Abkhazia, South Ossetia and Abkhazia in 2008. And then the news announced Russia attacked Georgia. No, they didn't. It's just not true. Just like Obamacare didn't let you keep your doctor and didn't cut your bill in half, it doubled it or tripled it. Raising the debt limit raises the debt limit. 2 + 2 = 4. I don't care what CNN says. I'm sick of it, and you should be sick of it. It's not hard to figure this out, folks. Go ahead. How do you say the name again, CJ? I keep forgetting. I don't have it in front of me, of the city where these battles are happening, and our media calls it terror attacks when the Russians fight back. What were you saying? Mariupol. Yeah, this is a clip from Mariupol. The guy has what sounds like kind of a New York accent. And they run up to him talking to him in Russian. Or I guess it's Ukrainian. And the guy's like, get out of my face, get out of my face. Let's go ahead and go to that clip.
Рома, пошли. Стоп, подождите, скажите, что это?
Out of my face, please.
Out of my face, out of my face. What's that sound like? I'm not an expert on East Coast accents. I just know it sounds East Coast. Let's see what the crew thinks. CJ, Joe, Bound, Nico,
Let's roll that clip again.
Yeah. Let's roll that clip from the beginning for radio listeners again.
Пошли. Рома. Пошли. Стоп, подождите, скажите, что это?
On my face, please.
Yeah, that's Northeastern.
That's a Yank accent.
Yep.
Oh, people are so politically correct. When you say Yank, it's usually Southerners that go, don't insult the Yankees. The Yankee's a great name. That's what the British troops called them. It was an insult, so they adopted it. Yankee Doodle Dandy.